Pose. Who will become the mother of the year? We have finally come to the final episode of Pose. Episode Mother of the Year. House versus House. Yes. Ryan Murphy, you did it. I don't know you that well, but as far as you chronologizing and as far as you seriously doing your history and Janet, all I can say and all I can tell you is that you all did it. Did it. Now, Electra, we get into this final episode and we see that Electra is really down on her luck. She's really, she has seriously hit rock bottom. Girl, we see Miss Electra at the peak show and we see her sleeping on benches. I was like, no, this is, girl. She didn't have any place. Everyone basically left her. Her partner left her of 10 years simply because she wanted to have and to be a full woman. So she jeopardized her life to become a full woman. And she hit rock bottom. We see her on the benches. I repeated that. We see her on the bench. And not only that, we see her actually at cheap in restaurants, staying overnight. We see her down in the bottom. She's sleeping on the benches. She's back at the piers. She's tricking. She's back at the pier. She's, basically sleeping and doing anything that she can to basically survive. And so Electra is getting ready to do her routine, do her the peep show, and finally, the curtains go up, and she see it's Bianca. Basically, Bianca is there. So Bianca, takes her from the peep show, and basically they have dinner. Basically Bianca take her to the famous restaurant that they have been going to, and Bianca talks to her and say, "What are you doing? You're basically gonna kill yourself out here." And Electra basically had a conversation with Bianca, saying that, you know, I really, I understand, and I really can't trust you to a certain extent, being that Electra was an ass, y'all. I didn't think that she was, when it came to acting, I felt that she could have done better, but the character of what Ryan Murphy was trying to, to portray, basically he hit it on the key. But Bianca and Electra, they finally got together. They finally got together, and Bianca basically, the table turned, and now Electra is Bianca's mother. In other words, Bianca doesn't have a home, and so Bianca opens up her doors for a legendary. And because we know that Electra is legendary. And when it comes to, being, knowing the ballroom scene, knowing it, she knows it. She knows it to the key. Now, even though we know that throughout the whole season, Electra was an ass. She thought she was better than everybody. She thought that she had it all. But really, in actuality, she didn't really have it all. She gave up in order to become an authentic, and in order to become who she really, really wanted to be. And that was a full woman. And so we see that Bianca brings Electra basically, to the house. But before they get to the house, we see that Ricky and Damien was basically, it looks like they were basically getting ready to get it in. They were getting ready to get it in. And so Bianca comes in and she has Electra with her. And basically they were kind of like really, really shocked to see her Electra, because Damien was like, well, what is she doing here? Knowing that Electra was, basically a rival, and that he knew that her and Electra didn't really getting along. So, but Bianca told Damien, look, she's gonna come here. She's our guest. In the meantime, while she's our guest, that you need to basically, be courteous, be humble to her, give her, respect like you would give me. Give her respect. And so we see that Electra is now in the house with Bianca. And so while Bianca is opening up her doors, and Ricky and Damien had to basically give up their room to accommodate Electra. And they really wasn't feeling that. I don't blame them. I wouldn't have really been feeling it either. But, they gave the room up. And then we find out that Ricky and Damien is going to a little tryout. And Damien wants Ricky to try out for I'll Be Sure video, because I'll Be Sure is basically looking for dancers. And so Ricky didn't really want to go, but Damien, pushed him, give him all the build up and say, come on, come on, come on, you could do this. I know you could do this. You could do this. And so Ricky says, well, I basically don't want to do it. And then he said, well, if you come with me, then I will do it. And so basically we see that Damien and Ricky is basically getting ready to try out for I'll Be Sure's music video. In the meantime, we see that Pray Tell. Pray Tell is basically not thinking about, dating, not, he just want to basically stay to himself. He doesn't really want to get back on the dating scene. He just kind of want to just put himself in his work. But Bianca has other plans. So we see Bianca at a club on a particular night. And so Bianca was like at the bar, and she was looking at this bartender. But the bartender wasn't really paying Bianca any mind or any attention. It's because he was basically eyeing Pray Tell. And so Bianca was trying to get his attention, say, hey, 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 I'm trying to get a drink here. I'm trying to get a drink. And so basically he told Bianca, he says, look, I'm not really into the girls. He says, well, thank you. And she says, well, can I basically get your number? And she said, well, I'm not into these girls. And then that's when Bianca says, well, I noticed that you've been eyeballing my friend over there. And he says, well, what are you talking about? She says, I see that you can't seem to keep your eye off of my friend. And so when he found out that Bianca knew Pray Tell, he basically, gave Bianca the number so she could give it to Pray Tell. But Pray Tell had no idea that Bianca was basically about to um hook him up with with the bartenders. And so we go on and we find out that Bianca and Pray Tell is basically getting ready for the princess ball. And this is when Bianca asks Pray Tell exactly, what are you doing? And really, he tells her that I'm just into my work and I'm not really, into anybody after, his partner died. And so Bianca said, well, your partner told you to, get back out there and to enjoy life and to live life and to find, someone and don't, don't waddle in pity or anything like that. And so we see that Pray Tell didn't really want to take the number, but he went on and he took the number. And so we see that in the meantime, we see that Angel is basically still pining over Stan. She can't seem to get Stan. She can't seem to get Stan out of her system. And so while Bianca is basically in the kitchen and trying to prepare dinner and everything, this is when we find out that Angel is, feeling down and, really, pining at the fact that her and Stan is no longer together. And so eventually Angel and Bianca have a conversation. Now, we go on and we see that Stan. Stan has basically, you remember what Stan did in episode 7? He left Angel high and dry. He packed up everything and went on back to Jersey, right? And left her stuff in a bag and left her hanging. And Angel basically had fell in love, with Stan. And so we see that Stan is talking to Patty. And so we find out that Stan's kids is basically acting out because Stan comes back home and he sees Patty is basically cleaning, the walls. And apparently the kid, the girls, because he doesn't have any boys, so he has like all girls. And so the girl is basically acting out. And so Stan said, what's going on? And so Patty tells her, said, well, the baby, the girl is acting out. And so Patty went on and tells Stan, said, you're a great liar, And so Stan went back to grovel, And so Stan was saying, well, I came back, basically I love you and I want to, come back home. But Patty, she's basically saying she's basically being a hardball. She agreed to basically get back together with Stan on the condition that he basically quits his job. She wants him to basically quit his job. She wants him to turn in all of the credit cards, want to get rid of all of the Cadillacs and all of his fancy watches and basically, take another job. And so Stan was like, and I was thinking to myself, are you kidding me? How was he supposed to, support the family? She says, and then Stan went on and said, well, if I do all of this, what are you going to do? Then this is when she said she's going to go back to get her degree, her master's degree. Now, she says go back and get her master's degree. I don't know what type of master's degree that she basically was getting. So apparently she has a bachelor's in something, but we don't know what it is, right? And so I said to myself, this is interesting. She wants him to get another job somewhere else. Don't work in Manhattan. Stay in Jersey and become a what did she say? Sell some insurance or something. I was like, dude, you're getting ready to get railroad. And then this is when we also find out that Patty said that she didn't really want to lie to the family due to the fact that they were having some marital, issues. She says basically, we're gonna let people know that you basically stepped out, but I'm gonna be lenient with you by not telling them who you stepped out with. You stepped out on the trans with a trans woman, and you are basically, I don't, what to be honest, I don't know what really Stan is, because we really haven't got to the crux of what Stan really is. How does he identify himself? Because nowadays a lot of people don't like to put labels on themselves. So we don't know if Stan, I'm kind of confused myself, because I'm kind of figured out, well, what are you, Stan? Are you a bi man? Are you on the down? I think for me personally, he's down on the down low. He wants to be married because he told Patty that he loves her, but he he's a down low man, because we know he's not gonna want to do that. He's not gonna want to give up his lifestyle that he's basically gotten accustomed to get back with Patty, even though he loves her. But granted, what the type of business that he was doing, he was able to put her in a house, put Angel in a condom. I guess it was a condominium, furnished two places, and then you want him to bring his lifestyle down to accommodate you, so you won't feel so insecure, because he basically felt insecure due to the fact that Angel Angel she's a gorgeous trans woman, and she can easily take Patty's place, easily, with no problem, and would not even be clocked, because she's got that vibe. She's got it. And so we go on, and we see that Helen has basically called Bianca to school, and we find out that Damien has been awarded a second year and a second scholarship. And so Bianca was very excited with that. But Bianca wanted Helen not to say anything basically to Damien, because Bianca wanted to tell Damien herself. And so we go on, and we see that they're basically getting ready for dinner. And of course, Bianca, no, Alexis is basically, dressed for dinner. And so this is when Bianca says, don't nobody get, Alexis says, don't nobody get dressed for dinner? And so Damien was like, yo, look, I guess he wanted to say, look, bitch, you're here, you underneath our roof, you go out by our rules. So in the meantime, we see that, let's talk about Candy and the House of Philosophy. And Lulu or Lala, what is it? Lala? Well, they are getting ready to do battle, right? But it's not going to be nice, guys, because Candy and Lala has really taken the traits of Electra. In other words, the way Electra basically handled and treated them, this is exactly what Lala and Candy has taken the traits of it. And so we go on and we find out that Pray Tell has basically went on and decided that he's just going to go ahead and, take up, the date and everything. But just before we find out Pray Tell has decided that he is going to do that date, we see Bianca and Electra. Bianca is basically taking Electra to a restaurant, and Electra wasn't really, having it. She was like, "Where are we going?" And Bianca says, "Look, look, we're gonna go get you a job. My rules is that you need to, do something. My rules, you go by my rules. You don't go by my rules, you're out." And so Bianca takes Electra into this Chinese restaurant, and it looked like it might have been a very upscale Chinese restaurant. And so Electra says, I can't do this. I can't wash dishes. I don't know anything about dishes. I don't even know how to wash a dish." And so Bianca said, "This is not about you being a dishwasher, child. Please. You're going in here and you're going to ask for an application. It's because they're looking for, what was that? They're looking for a receptionist, a high end receptionist, and you fit that bill." And so Electra goes in, and basically she goes in and she says, "I understand that you are looking for a host, and I understand that you're looking for someone with quality." I guess that's the word. And so this Chinese lady was very. She looked at Electra and says, "Yes, we have an opening. Let me get you, the application." And so we go on, and now Electra now has a job. Bianca went and took the girl and said, "Look, if you're gonna be in my house, you're gonna be doing something. You just ain't gonna be sitting around trying to tell people what to do and trying to get people to paint that room that I'm basically letting you borrow." And so we go on and we see that Pray Tell and his new date is on their way to the restaurant. And lo and behold, who did they run into? They run into Electra. Electra is the receptionist there, and she is the host there. And so, Pray Tell says, "Oh, I see that we I see that we are moving up these days." And so Electra said something, to the price of, "Yes, we are." And so we go on, and we see that Pray Tell has basically sat down and had a conversation with, the young fellow that was basically really, really interested in Pray Tell's, because he had been, eyeballing Pray Tell for quite some time. And so we go on and we find out that he likes her, and Pray Tell tells the young fellow that he is HIV. And so Pray Tell thought that the guy was basically going to say, "Well, I don't want to deal with you and anything like that." And so the young fellow says, "No, you're not. Do you think you're the only guy who I basically dated who tests HIV? He doesn't have AIDS. He has the virus." And so we find out that, he likes Pray Tell and Pray Tell likes him. And so we go on and we at the dinner scene. And this is when everybody is like sitting down for dinner. And we find out that Bianca has a conversation with Angel. After Angel tells Bianca, how she feels about Stan and everything. And so basically Bianca says, "Look, ain't no white boy gonna come and save you. You basically have to save yourself. So you need to kind of sort of get yourself together." And then she says, "I have something to tell you, and you must not tell anybody." So Bianca tells Angel that she basically tested for the virus. And so, of course, she was, Angel was like really surprised, and she tells Angel, she says, look, you have to get yourself together, is because you are next in line to become a mother, and you're going to have yourself together when for these children, because you're next in line. And so we go on now. We go on, and we are getting ready to battle. The category is silk and linen. So basically, we see all these categories. We see all the people. Basically, Pray Tell is basically calling the category, and we see, the dialogue that Pray Tells have. I'm not even going to try to say some of the things that he basically was telling these people that were, walking the catwalk and doing these categories, right? And so this is when we run into and we see the House of Philosophy, and they are Lala and Candy are nasty. I mean, they are really, really nasty. They got a hold of Bianca, and they, was saying all kinds of nasty things to Bianca, talking about her makeup wasn't this and she wasn't that, and that she needed to go and, learn how to basically put her makeup on and everything. And so then we get to a scene where we see that Electra. Basically, Electra is basically getting ready to, coming to the ball. And so we see that Electra goes inside and she sees that Bianca is basically there. And they, Lala and Candy has basically really dug into Bianca so bad, where Bianca just, she was trying to hold it not to be very negative and everything. And Electra basically came in and saw Bianca. And so Bianca was saying, look, Electra, I don't really have time right now. I got this, I'm dealing with some stuff. And so this is when we find out that Electra um, tells Bianca, she says, I basically want to thank you. And she says, if it had not been for you, I don't know where I would be. She says, today, I want to repay you. She says, today, I got my first check. And it felt, she was really proud of the fact that she didn't have to, you know, get money from underneath the table, and the money was like all crumpled up and everything. And she says it made, by her working, she says it made her really feel like she was a part. And so she tells Electra, she says, I want to repay you. And how I want to repay you is that I want to be a part of the House of Evangelistic, and I want to walk. And so this is when Electra, redid Bianca's makeup, and the makeup was looking good. I didn't see anything wrong with the makeup, because I'm not really, I wear makeup. Maybe one day I might put some on. Um, but she looked good when they got finished. And so this time it was like the princess ball. And so this is when Bianca goes in, and this is when Bianca goes to Pretel and tell Pretel that they want to um, have a contest. They have a battle, and the battle would be the House of Philosophy and the House of Evangelistic. Before that, Bianca basically told, before they put the challenge up, Bianca basically goes and no, Electra goes in, and she went in for Lala and Candy. And this is when she basically wore them out. She said, "Look at you guys. You guys are, I am a product as to how you all are basically treating people and everything." And so we find out that basically, to make a long story short, the people in the house of Electra and the house of abundance leaves the house of the people of the house of philosophy and become the boys do become a part of Electra's house. And this is when we also see the way that Lala was basically treating Poppy. And she wasn't treating him very good. But Electra went in and told Poppy, said, if you want to get back with your mother and you don't mind groveling, and perhaps she will basically, take you back. And so Poppy says, I don't know anything. I don't know what groveling means, but I basically really want to get back to my house. And so this is when we have the battle. And the category was house versus house. And basically, they went through all of the categories. And the house of philosophy and the house of evangelistic. Evangelistic was kicking butts, guys. They was actually kicking butt. They were winning trophies left and right. They were winning trophies left and right. And so they get to one of the categories. One of the categories is that I think it was like Butch Queen realness or anything. But that's when we see that Electra and I don't even know what's Aphrodite, they were basically battling each other. I guess it was realness as far as being a real woman. They had basically gone through all of the operations, so they were being real. So basically, of course, Electra won that category. And so we get to the final battle. And so we get to the battle. One of the battle was the category was voguing. And of course, we know that Damien basically could basically vogue his butt off. I basically can vogue too. I used to vogue myself. And so we see that Candy is basically getting very, very upset because the house of evangelistic is basically killing butt. They're kicking it. They doing it, right? And so this is when Candy says, we're gonna take one of these grand trophies. And so basically, Candy goes in there and doing in the voguing category. She's up there doing, I don't know what she was doing, guys. I don't know. But this is when Pray Tell says, stop the music, stop the music. He says, Candy, now Candy, you and I, we have basically been battling each other. When we had the category of curve film something, you basically didn't have it, but you went out and you basically bought your complete body. And said, why are you in this category? This is voguing, flexibility. And so Candy was not really having it. Candy was basically upset. And Candy was like, she just got totally upset. She started, calling all kinds of names and bitches and hoes and just all kinds of stuff. And Pray Tell was like, look, violence is not the way. So to make, they finally got it together. Candy kind of, calmed it down. And so we go on to the final category. The final category was basically Mother of the Year. And so this is when we see that um, Angel has basically taken a break. And this is when she sees Stan. And she looks and she asks Stan, she says, what are you doing here? And Stan has basically answered the word is groveling. He is asking for Angel to come back to him, and that he wants to, he says he's gonna leave Patty, and he wants to get a house in the suburbs in Manhattan somewhere, and he is willing to travel back and forth just to be with Angel. And Angel is like, you remember when we first met, and I told you that basically I've had lots of, men who wanted to be my knight in shining armor, and I basically told you that, you know, I have done this before. And so basically she told Stan, said, look, you need to go head on back to your wife and become a man. She said, one reason why is because I basically have a family. I have a family. And they basically love me. And so this is when we see that Bianca had never saw Stan. And so because Bianca was basically getting ready to do the final category, and that final category was Mother of the Year. But Bianca saw Stan and she says, oh my God, is this Stan? Is this him? This the white boy? He's gorgeous. And so basically she went in and she says, I see why you were having some issues. And she went in and asked Angel to basically get her ready for, the category. And that final category was a special category that I guess the ballroom do like every year, and that was Mother of the Year. And so basically they named the various houses. And so finally they called out the Pray Tell basically called out the house of Evangelistic. And Bianca basically had no idea that she was going to be in this, that she was going to be elected for Mother of the Year. But prior before Mother of the Year, before we get to, because I'm almost there to the final, we find out that Damien has a conversation with Bianca and tells them that he's decided to take the scholarship, because prior before them at the dinner, they were so excited to find out that him and Damien and Ricky had, made the cut. And so this is when Alexa was really, you know, uh, really excited due to the fact that they had made it and that they were going to be on tour. And Electro was like excited because she remembered I'll Be Sure back in the day. And so this is going to be a little long because it's a final, so I'm just going to go on. And so we find out that Damien decided to take the scholarship. So we get to the final. And Pray Tell is talking about what a mother is, the Mother of the Year, what it takes to become a mother. I mean, what it takes to make sure to direct and guide your children in the right direction. He goes on and he talks about that this Mother of the Year, if it was not for her that he doesn't know where, he would be. And so we finally finds out the mother of the year becomes Bianca. Bianca becomes the mother of the year. And of course it looks really good, and they started crying, and Ryan Murphy. And then at the final scene we see everybody. Now we have a whole complete house of evangelistic. And so Ryan Murphy and Janet Mark, you guys, y'all did a fabulous job. For this is not the first time that that the community has had something, and I can say something that they can really, identify with, is because a lot of the things that basically they talked about was HIV, and they talked about AIDS, and they're talking about trans women, and they talked about everything was basically in there. They talked about the down low man, who the down low man was, and basically that's Stan, who, married and married with children, but yet and still he's stepping out on his wife, with trans women, and we just seen him with trans women. We never seen him with a true gay man. And Ryan Murphy and Janet Mark, you guys did your research as far as HIV. Now they dealt with HIV, but they dealt with it in a way that it didn't really scare you. Back in the 19 when HIV actually came on the scene, and I remember it very well, is because that's when the medical community didn't know exactly how to deal with it. That's when you heard Pray Tell when they were doing the categories the with the silk and linen, and he was talking about the bathhouses. Well, the bathhouses was where a lot of gay men and trans women and lesbian, all everybody in the community knew, but it was mainly the bathhouses where basically dealt with the gay man basically went to. And it was, I had never been in a bathhouse, but I knew what it was. That's where all the gay men will go in, and it's almost like a gym setting, and they will go in and they basically do their thing. They will have sex, and not no protection, and it was like a free fall. And that's when they would call it the gay plague. And Pose. This was a very good season, a very good way of introducing the community who were not or have not been or known anything about the ballroom scene. Sure, they have two. I don't know. I think it's called the House. I'm not quite sure. I said it. And then we have this one. We have Pose. And then we have Paris is Burning. And of course, there are other documentaries that you could basically go in and you can look at that will talk about the ballroom scene. But I found that it was very good. I liked it, the fact that they did not leave any cliffhangers. They didn't leave any cliffhangers, you know, and I think it's going to be very interesting. Now, this is my recap. Now, we know that Bianca has told Angel that she will be the next person in line to become the mother. Now, will she be the next in line, or will she have to battle Electra? Because Electra is now in the House of Abundance. And so we have three powerful women. We have Electra, we have Angel, and we have Bianca. Now, Bianca has told Angel that she's next in line, and she's, giving Angel, telling Angel that she's HIV. Now, I'm wondering how they're going to deal with that. Now, we also have Damien and Ricky. Now, Damien says that it's going to be okay for Ricky to basically go out on the road while he harnesses his crab. Now, that's going to be very, very interesting because remember that Ricky was kind of I'm not going to say a gigolo, but in a sense he was. So that should be interesting. Now, another thing which is very, very interesting to me, and I looked at it, is that Electra is working at this Chinese restaurant, and this Chinese restaurant is an upper scale restaurant. Will she meet her next suitor there? Will she meet her? Well, guys, I'm gonna say this was a very, very good first season of Pose, and I'm looking forward for the second season of Pose because basically I'm gonna be there. And yes, Bianca won the Mother of the Year award, but I'm gonna say Pose won the Year of award. And if Pose is not up for an award, then I don't know. But will I be there? Will I be there for season 2? Yes, I will. Will I review it? Yes, I am. Did I enjoy it? Yes, I did. I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed it. Until the next time, I'm going to say, pose, peace and love. And I'll see you Wednesday for Queen Sugar.